Since chords are built out of thirds, we can use numbers to represent the notes of the chord. The root note, that means the note upon which the chord is built, is oftentimes called the 1, and then we go up a third, and we call that note the third, and then we go all the way up 2 more from that to a 5th above. So we can call the numbers 1, 1, 3, 5. Now, if the first interval in the chord, the distance from the 1 to the 3, is a major third, that is, it consists of a whole step plus a whole step, a big third, then the chord itself will be major. If, on the other hand, we were to move to starting on D, D would become 1, a third up from that would be F, and a 5th up would be A. And now from D we have D to F. Now because there's only a whole step and a half step, because we have this E to F here, that's going to be a minor third, and so it will make a minor chord. All of that is pretty straightforward, but I think the challenge is how do you change a chord from major into minor, or vice versa, using sharps and flats. Let's take a moment to look at our most basic first chord, the C chord. As we mentioned, C, E, G. That's going to be a major third from C to E, so it's a major chord. However, if we wanted to make a C minor chord, we would need to lower that third down, make it a little bit lower, so it's going to be down here as an E flat. So that's why we would add a flat in to the E of our C minor chord. C, E flat, G. Some chords, just using natural notes, already have a minor third between the first note and the third. For example, A, C, E. The distance from A, let's call that our root or our 1, to C is going to be a minor third. I've got a dying pen here. If I want to take a minor third and make it major, I'm going to need to add a sharp. A, C sharp, E. That way I can raise the note up and make it a big third here. Practice. I'm going to play you both the major and the minor version of 4 pairs of chords. So for example, if I were to play you a C chord, you would say, oh, that sounds major. Let me see. C to E. That's already a major third, so I can just write C, E, G. And if you know it's major, then I'd like you to label it with a capital M. If you were to hear, then you know that's minor, and you would have to say, well, to make that distance from the root to the third smaller, I'm going to need to put a flat on the E, but of course my G is going to stay the same. I'm going to label it with a lowercase m. So listen to each pair of triads, decide if the first one was major or the second one was major, and obviously the opposite will be true for the other one. Write out the notes and label them with a capital or lowercase m. The first pair of chords begins on the note G. pause, write these chords side by side, and label them as major or minor. The next pair of triads begins on the note E. Pause and write and label. The next pair of triads begins on the note F. Pause and write. And your final pair of triads begins on the note D. So, as we heard, the first triad, starting on G, that sounded major to me. So, G, G to A is a whole step, A to B is a whole step, so I know that's already a major third. And then the fifth above that is D. G, B, D is a major third, major triad, sorry. And so then I'm pretty sure the second one had to be G minor. Now to make the distance from the root to the third smaller, I put a flat next to the middle note to bring it down to a minor third. And I label it with a lowercase m. The next chord we heard was beginning on E. That sounds minor. Now let's see. E to F is a half step, and F to G is a whole step, so that's got a half step and a whole step. So E to G must be a minor third already. Don't have to do anything to that. And then I heard E major. Oops, put in my lowercase m. Now, to make this distance bigger, I'm going to raise up the G and make it a major third from E to G. And you can hear that. There's the G, G sharp. The next pair of chords began on F. I heard a major third from the root to the third. F to A is already a major third. C above that. Ooh, I heard that middle note go down, and ooh, does that sound sad to me. There we go, minor. And the last pair of chords started on a D. That sounds major. Let's see, D to E is a whole step. E to F is just a half step. So to make it major, I'm going to have to lift that F up to an F sharp. Otherwise, D to F would be a minor third. Major, D major. And then we got the D, F, and I can write a natural sign here if I like to show that it's no longer sharp. And we've got DFA. Bring these assignments in and show your teacher what you can do.